All right, Dexter, I have 5 stats from week 2 of the NFL season. I want you to tell me, do these stats matter?
Okay, do these stats matter?
Yes.
All right, I'm here for it.
First one, Justin Fields is 0-24 now in his career when the opponent scores 21 points or more.
Yo, that's a lot of losing. 0-24 in his career when the opponent scored 21 points or more. What I find interesting, does that matter? It does, because it tells you he's probably generally not been in a lot of close games. And if he has been in close games that are high-scoring affairs, he has not fared well, right? Like, he has not done well. So I do think it matters, because if you get Justin Fields in a shootout, we saw this in week 1 against the Steelers.
Yep.
A lot of points scored. Jets scored 32 points in that game. So they were scoring, but he just hasn't come through in the end. Now, some of that is circumstantial with your team. I don't like to put it all on the quarterback. But yeah, that's a lot of losing.
0-24. How do you not win a game when your defense gives up more than 21 points? We saw, like you mentioned, almost happened last week, but just strange that like he can't do that.
Yeah, to be fair, we saw that in week 1, right? Like, Justin Fields was not the reason.
So he can put up points. We saw it last week, but for some reason, the offense and defense, when he's able to do it, don't line up together.
Some of it is he played for the Bears. Sorry, Bears
fans.
He played for the Bears.
Your Steelers?
The Steelers. And I'm trying to think of a game when he had 21 points with the Steelers. It was probably one of the 2 that he lost with them last year. And it's just not coming to mind. Yeah. But at some point, you're like, damn, yeah, you think you'd win a game. Again, not all of it is on him. But it's like, has Justin Fields ever shown that he's been the reason you could win a high-scoring game late? To be fair, he hasn't shown that. To also be fair, sometimes he's had the kid gloves on him where he's not been allowed to throw as much.
When it's 0-24, it is on you, though. 0-24, that's a big enough sample size to be like, yeah, that's something up with Justin Fields.
I guess what you're saying.
On 3 different teams.
On 3 different teams. You're like, you win one of these at some point.
Yes.
Right? Again, not his fault that they lost week. He did everything he could week 1 against the Steelers. Not his fault. They did that with Xavier Gibson, and penalties. But
final drive, though, good quarterback gets down in field goal range there.
Well, that's the thing. Good quarterbacks do that, right?
Yeah.
We know this. Good quarterbacks do that, Tommy, and they're going to find a way to do it. And we're not saying Justin Fields is a bad quarterback, but clearly with 0-24, he hasn't shown it yet.
I agree. It does matter. Next one, Russell Wilson leads the NFL in passing yards. Does that matter?
Absolutely not. It does not matter at all. It's nice. We saw the moon balls. My guy Brandon London was going crazy. He loved the moon balls. It's all nice and well. It didn't translate to a win. They went to the moon ball once too many. Because, his last pass he threw, that wasn't good. Leading NFL yards is nice. You know what would be better? If the Giants had a win. It'd be a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't matter. Third one, Lions have 3 50-point games now since the start of last season. The rest of the NFL has 1.
Yo, that's a wild stat. 3 50-point games since the start of last season.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, week 6 against the Saints last year, got it done. We saw it last week from the Lions.
That's crazy, Tay. I forgot about that.
Does that matter?
Yeah, I think it matters because I think it talks about how balanced Detroit's offense could be. We know what they can do with their 2-headed running back with Jahmyr Gibbs and, Sonic and Knuckles. We know what they can do there, right? I think it does matter they can put up points. I think it also matters when they got these 50-point games. We saw them struggle in week 1. They bounced back nicely here. Yeah, I think it matters. Detroit's offense is good. They're tough. You think their defense could be a little bit better this year, but to show their offense has the explosion, the power that can be explosive, they can put up 6+ touchdowns. Yeah, I think it matters.
I think this 50-point performance really mattered because they proved they can do it without Ben Johnson. I thought without the 2 coordinators, they were going to take a step back. Now, it's against the Bears, so got to see more, but it's a step in the right direction that they're going to be okay.
The Bears are out here catching strays. But they are the Bears.
Yes.
The
Bears will always be the Bears.
I think it's a great point you mentioned there about the fact that without Ben Johnson, I think a lot of people think they would take a step back.
I was one of them.
Yeah, but they've been fine. I think also we got to put some respect on Dan Campbell's name. He's done a fantastic job coaching. He loses his 2 coordinators. Seems like they haven't missed a beat.
Another one, Eagles, the first team in the last 25 years to go 2-0 without throwing a touchdown. Does that matter?
Yeah, it does matter. It does. Now, look, I think I know how you feel about the tush push. I know you're not a fan
of
the
tush push. Garbage,
right?
Not football.
Look, we know they can move the ball. We know they can impose their will. I think it matters that they can do that, But I think it also matters that they haven't been throwing the ball well.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Like two
new offensive coordinator. We just talked about with the Lions.
What they have? Just over 100 yards a game in the
101 yards passing
against the Chiefs. That's not a good look. You start to worry, will A.J. Brown get frustrated? Will Devonta Smith start getting frustrated with what's going on there? Yeah. So
book on the sideline for A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I think it matters. It's nice to be able to run the ball, but if you're showing me you can't pass the ball in today's NFL, not a good look.
Last one, I had to squeeze this one in. Colts became the first team in the
course.
Super Bowl era to not punt in their first 2 games. Does that matter?
Yo, that's a good stat. I didn't know that either. It matters for you.
Doesn't matter for you. Doesn't matter for the NFL. Definitely matters for me. I've been hanging my hat on this one.
Here's why I think it matters. Okay. I'm going to say yes, it matters. Because we also got to remember Daniel Jones is the person quarterbacking for the Colts. If you'd have told me a Daniel Jones-led offense did not punt in the first 2 weeks, I would have been like, what kind of substance?
How many interceptions has he thrown? That's what you'd be asking.
I'd be asking that, yeah. That's the reason not punting.
0.
But he's thrown 0. Would you have believed that?
No, I would not have. I wasn't buying this. I was not happy about the Daniel Jones experiment. And 2 weeks in, I'm all in.
Whoa.
I love it. I think he's looked incredible. I'm sold.
So you're like Anthony Richardson who?
Exactly.
You forgot about the man.
Pretty much.
You're willing to trade him.
Maybe some red zone stuff. They struggle in the red zone. I'd think about maybe a package for Anthony Richardson in the red zone, but that's about it. I'm good. Daniel Jones is the guy for now.
I think it matters because it can build. I should have added this. I think it can build confidence for Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I think it can build confidence for the rest of the Colts offense. I do need to see a little bit more, and I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a confidence builder, and now this team is believing in Daniel Jones. You're believing in Daniel Jones.
I'm in.
Guys, you should have heard this man a couple weeks ago. He was out.
I was not happy.
With it at all.
And a lot of Colts fans were in the same boat as I was on that.
So you think this matters too? Like for them in the long term?
No. I'll be honest. I don't know. Well, because we saw it last year with the Saints. They scored on their first 9 possessions. Colts broke that record as well, scored on their first 10, and then all of a sudden the Saints went downhill. You got to see more. It's a sign in the right direction. Does it really matter? They turned the ball over on downs a couple times.
Right.
So like if they don't go there's a couple punts. So it's a little cheeky in that sense, but it is showing that this offense is a lot better than I think anybody could have expected. Daniel Jones has been a lot better than anybody could have expected. But I don't know if it really matters. It's a sign in the right direction.
I think it can matter for their confidence going forward if they can build upon this.
Like if they're good at the end of the year, we point to the Colts and we're like, yeah, that is a good team that can maybe make a run in the playoffs. Then we'll point to this stat and be like, well, look at how good of a start we should have done.
Right, but if they don't, they fall. Nobody's going to.
Right, it can also go the opposite direction. Yeah. Daniel Jones turns back into who Daniel Jones has been, and then we'll be like, well, who cares?
I think that's fair. I like this. Those are some good stats, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Really good.
Doesn't matter.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does not.